Once upon a time, there were two people who were madly in love with each other. They were so much in love that they decided to elope and get married in secret. But their families were feuding, and if they found out that the two lovers had gotten married, they would be furious. So the couple decided to run away into the forest and live there in secrecy. One day, while they were walking through the forest, they came across an old man who was sitting on a log. The man looked at them and said, "Well, what do we have here?" A couple of lovers who were trying to hide from their families. The lovers were shocked. They had never told anyone that they were eloped, and they didn't know how this man had found out. The man continued to say, "Don't worry, I won't tell your families if you give me something." The lovers were desperate, and they didn't know what to do. Finally, the man said, "I want you to take me to the place where you are hiding." The lovers agreed, and they led the old man to their secret spot. The old man then said, "I also want you to give me the first food that you see when you get home." The lovers agreed again, and they went back to their little hideaway in the forest. When they got there, they were so angry at the old man for ruining their secrecy. The woman said, "What are we going to do now? Our families are going to find us." The man just shook his head and smiled. He said, "Don't worry, I have a plan." They went back to the old man and gave him the food that they had been eating. It was a loaf of bread that they had bought from a nearby village. The old man took the bread and began to eat it. Then he did something that the lovers never expected. He took his knife and carved the bread in half. He then gave one half to the lovers and kept the other half for himself. The lovers were confused, but they were also intrigued. They had never seen anyone carve bread like that before. The old man then said, "Here is your task. You must each eat half of your bread in front of me without touching each other's half." The lovers looked at each other and then back at the old man. They knew that this was going to be impossible, but they were willing to try anything to keep their families away from them. So the lovers sat down and began to eat their bread. They tried their best not to touch each other's half, but it was just too much. The more they tried to resist, the more their halves started to get closer and closer together. Finally, the lovers couldn't take it anymore. They reached across the bread and touched each other's half. When the old man saw this, he smiled. He had known all along that they wouldn't be able to resist. But he said, "You see, love is like bread. No matter how hard you try to keep it apart, it always comes together in the end." The lovers were embarrassed, but also relieved. They knew that the old man was right. Their love for each other was too strong to be kept apart. The old man then said, "Since you have passed my test, I will help you to be together." And that's exactly what he did. The old man used his knowledge of the forest to help the lovers hide from their families. He showed them how to make their shelter more secure and how to find food and water. He even helped them to make clothes from leaves and vines. And so the lovers were able to stay in the forest and be together for many years. They never forgot the old man who had helped them, and they often wondered what had become of him. One day, they decided to go back to the forest and look for him. But when they got there, they found out that he had disappeared. All that was left was a small hut and a carving knife. The lovers knew that the old man had moved on, but they were grateful for the time that they had spent with him. They realized that their love for each other was the most important thing in the world, and they were willing to do anything to protect it.